Hmm. Good evening and salutations, my G friends. I don't even know what to say about this episode in a sense. Hmm. Okay, let's start off Port Charles Grill. I think that's what it's called, right? Willow, Nina, and Tracy. It's almost as though things went in one ear with Tracy and out the other. Because the minute that she sees Willow, she starts acting like her usual extra self. Something along the lines of, oh, you moved out the Quartermain mansion to sit there and keep, banging Drew and, being an adulteress and da 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 da. And then she's all like, I want back my mother's ring. I'm like, I could have swore Carly sat there and said, if you push Willow too far, she's going to sit there and take the kids with Drew and we're never going to sit there and see them again. That means that Monica is never going to sit there and see them, right? So Nina comes in, she says something, and she seemed like she didn't really do much until Alexis came, and Alexis pretty much was like, you need to stand down. Alexis says the exact same thing that Carly said. And she was also like, listen, you owe me one for, remember that time that you framed me for drunk driving when I didn't do it? And yet she has the audacity to sit there and start judging Willow, but whatever. And so now you have another person tell you the exact same thing. You know what Tracy said at one point? I'm entitled to my feelings and I'm not going to hold back. Let me tell you something, Tracy. And this is the truth of the reality. And I don't generally tend to bring this stuff up, but this is very important. When she said that she was entitled to her feelings, what she really meant to say was she's an entitled, rich, white woman that will sit there and say and do whatever the hell that she pleases. And that's the truth of the matter. So, you know, it's not really too surprising that she decides to just regurgitate the same things that she's been saying to Willow, as though she didn't just have a prior conversation of why it's important for her to not do that. But this time, she says, okay, fine. I'm not going to do anything for now. Because, Alexis explained her reasons of why it's a bad idea. And, she wants to sit there and be close to her granddaughter and everything like that. So it's like, don't do it. But now she decides to listen. Okay. Jason comes in and he goes off on Cyrus. And he pretty much threatens to kill him in a room full of people, right? Okay, Jason. Danny, Danny leaves with him. He's like, he killed mom and everything like that. So, they go, right? So this whole thing is crazy. Everyone's just kind of just standing there, just all in shock and stuff. Emma, I'm still wondering why they brought her back. Emma has been kind of an insufferable, annoying pain in the ass since she's gotten back, right? So, Kai and Trina and and Emma are just like looking at the whole thing. And Trina talks about, hey, listen, I had to sit there and deal with that guy the last time. He kidnapped us, he shot my dad and everything like that. It was a mess. Like, this guy is nuts. You know what Emma dumbass actually says? Okay, yeah, listen, we can't do anything about him, but, let's get back to the, animal cruelty and testing and stuff like that. Are, are you serious? So Gio pulls her to the side and is like, listen, you need to know how to read. You need to sit there and learn how to read the room. Katrina's clearly going through something, and you decide to sit there and be all self-involved and talk about the cause, da 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 da. Like, seriously, like how insensitive were you just being at that point? So Emma has this befuddled look on her face, like, what are you talking about? And she almost looked like she's insulted. So she says, well, I said that to distract her from her, reliving her trauma and everything. Wait, hold on. That is the biggest pile of horse shit that I think I've heard. Okay, fine. So she makes an excuse. And she's like, well, I did it. I pretty much did it for Trina's benefit. And Gio, for some odd reason, was like, oh, well, I never thought of it like that. I'm so sorry that I accused you of what? Well, I know some guys, they tend to not always think with the right brain, but like you. Anyway, he apologizes, and she's like, "Okay, fine, you can make it up to me by helping me pass flyers and stuff like that at Kelly's and stuff." And I'm just like, okay, yeah. So that happens. Now, Lulu and Joslyn are catching up for a little bit, just talking and stuff. And Chase, after interviewing the landlord, because, he gave a description of Joslyn and, a picture and everything like that. So Anna's like, you need to sit there and pick her up because we're going to have a talk because she is trying to sit there and pretty much unalive herself at this point. Get herself unalive at this point. So Chase comes down there, brings her in. Jocelyn acts like a smartass. Like, oh, what are you talking about? I mean, there could have been plenty of people that are blonde hair and everything like that. And she just is totally ignoring Anna's advice. And by the way, Anna's like, what you did right now at this point, it's a crime. Like, it's literally a crime. So Jocelyn's like, oh, well, should I have to sit there and call Diane? And at this point, Anna's like, you know what, F it. Fine, call her. And she walks away, and Chase sits there and tries to talk some sense into her, like, "Hey, listen, I get it. You wanna get justice for Dex. I get that. I cared about him too, but you gonna sit there and get yourself killed." Problem is that her actions is going to potentially get somebody else killed at this point. See, Cyrus is not there talking to Marty, and Marty's like, let's go down there, let's press charges and stuff like that. And Cyrus is like, no, 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 I don't want to do that. Eventually, Marty decides to talk to Anna and wants to press charges anyway. After all these talks that were like really uninteresting, well, the one thing that I will sit there and say is Liz and Lucky are realizing that if we don't do something fast, to get Cyrus behind bars, he's going to bolt between Danny accusing Cyrus of killing Sam and Jocelyn accusing Cyrus of killing Dex. This dude's just going to bolt. So we got to do something. We got to do something fast. And then towards the end, they play that annoying ass cringy music. They start dancing, and Cyrus is there looking at Liz like, "Oh yeah, I gotta sit there and take you out." So while Johnson's not there doing his poutiness and bratty attitude and everything like that, that she's going to sit there and potentially get somebody else killed. And I say somebody else because I do mostly hold Britt's death on her. I seriously, to this day, I'm not letting that shit go because it's once again her sitting there acting like a brat, her acting like she knows it all, decided to let her bodyguard go. And now she's doing the exact same thing, sneaking into an apartment. You didn't even actually get anything. You didn't get anything. But the problem is, Cyrus knows that somebody else is in this place. And now he's not there looking at Liz. So, I mean, I guess when she finds out, that, like, let's just sit there and say this is a scenario where Liz gets hurt or Liz dies or whatever. Liz dies, right? And there's a funeral. Is Jocelyn actually going to sit there and attend this one? Because she damn sure didn't sit there and attend Britt's funeral. Now, what do they call this? The brown dog? So Carly and Jack are at the brown dog. They're talking, they're catching up, they're, just getting to know each other and stuff. Little date or whatever. And Lucas and Maxie are just looking at the situation, and Lucas is all like, "Oh, well, I don't trust Jack, and he's gonna hurt Carly, and he's a liar, and this, that, and the third." And Maxie's like, "Yeah, so when are you actually gonna start dating again? Because it's been a year since you and Brad and that whole thing. Like, when you gonna start getting back out there? Because bottom line is, you need to sit there and kind of concentrate on your own life, which is." Kind of ironic because Maxie decided for whatever odd reason is to go up to Jack because she's still a little kind of pissy about her dad getting fired, and I'm like, your dad, from what I understand, is Basuda. Didn't really give a damn about you that much, but you want to sit there and walk up to him with a pissy attitude, and then you want to sit there and be like, oh, you want to have fun with Carly, fine, but don't stay in his light, don't stay in her light because of your job and everything. I'm like, Maxie, stop. It's like, stop. I get that you care about Carly and everything like that, but go find time to sit there and be with Spinelli. You doing too much. And of course, Lucas not there getting in Carly's face again. Oh well, he's a liar. He's this. He's that. He's third. I'm like, Lucas, don't you have anything else better to do? I get that these people care, but it's something that is just something that's just kind of obnoxious when they start doing that, and especially with Carly, it's like, Lucas, you know your sister. You know the more that you sit there and tell her to not be with somebody, she's going to do the exact opposite. Because you're telling her not to be with someone, she's going to do the exact opposite. So I'm like, stop. Hell, you didn't like every time that she got in your face when you were just not there having a simple, pleasant conversation with Brad, right? Or did he forget about all those times? Anyway, back to, I guess it's called Purple Crew. After that whole encounter, Willow is upset and she's sad and she's all like, everyone's coming after me and, there's nothing saying I'm a terrible person and maybe I'm right. And I'm just like, stop. Stop with this. I'm feeling sorry for myself. But develop a damn backbone. Okay? Because first of all, here's the truth of the matter. The people that are there coming at her are people that have done some shit themselves. So next time somebody comes back at you, you remind them all the shit that they did. I mean, my point is, grow a goddamn backbone. Okay, you did it with Sasha. When Sasha was not there doing too much, you can simply do that shit with Tracy. Tracy's already doing too much, and she is just irking the living hell out of me at this point. But I'm like, stop sitting there playing the victim and everything like that. You did do some dirt. Okay? And you practically sat there and said that you just want to flaunt it in the open, still being married to Michael. So I kind of don't really want to hear your tears at this point. Just put on your big girl pants and woman up. Now, Nina was about to sit there and I think before Nina was going to sit there and start telling her about, the affair the little tryst between her and Drew, and to Tracy's annoying ass came in, and then Willow was sitting there thanking Nina and sitting there saying, you're like a real mother to me now, and da 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 da. So, of course, Nina didn't say anything, as predictable as that was. Now, after Jason gets Danny home and explains to him why you should not be sitting there confronting Cyrus, he agrees, he does apologize, he does sit there and thank him for getting him out of that situation. And then Sasha is there, and they explain to him that, the baby that is Sasha, long story short, they're like, he has to pretend that he is the father of Sasha's baby to do her a favor, but, they're not going to sit there and say who the father is. And at this point, Jason was like, only three of us knows this. So you need to sit there and keep this a secret. You know why I actually brought that up yesterday about the whole, you know, even today it was like only three. Jason, did you forget that you have another son? Like seriously, it, the thing is, I I know that Jake isn't on the show anymore. I know the actor isn't on the show, whatever, and we don't know if they're gonna get him back or even if they even want him back at this point. But he's still an in universe character. You can at least acknowledge that. Oh, well, we gotta sit there and tell Jake. They just sat there and just act like Jake just doesn't even exist at this point. I think that was the part that was just like, really? Um. Anyway, Danny goes to find Rocco to thank him, and Jason is clearly ready to sit there and take out Cyrus. And Sasha's like, "Don't do that. You know, your son needs you and stuff like that. He looks up to you." And Jason kind of just takes it in one ear. He says thank you, and he who knows what he's gonna do. But I'm just like, Jason. Part of me wants to give him a bit of a hee haw. The other part of me is like, I get it. His son is there. He's not thinking straight. I'm like, bro, you just threatened him in a room full of people. And what, now you're going to go and confront Cyrus and what, beat him up? So you want to go to jail, right? You want to go to jail. You don't want to sit there and be with your son. Did you forget that you just had a son at this point? Like, for somebody who is so logical, and I get emotions is high, I'm like, bro, you can't move that way anymore. Sam isn't here. This is why he sat there and said that he's not going to permanently take over the business because of Danny. But you just threaten him in a room full of people and is going to do God knows what to him, knowing that you're going to be prime suspect number one. Right. Okay, bro. Um, like I said, Christina wasn't there talking to Isaiah, and it was mostly about, Liz saving her from beating the living hell out of Ava. Still blaming her for her baby's death and da 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 da. Oh, also, since Lulu took over, she is just effing up orders left and right. And of course, she gets approached by by a customer who is vegan. It's like, oh, this is meat and I'm a vegan. And I'm like, bro, if you don't sit your pretentious ass down, but Dante comes in there and Dante does sit there and help her out. And, there's a point where I guess she burns some toast and they start laughing. And I'll be honest, I generally did like that scene. I like that scene because this is the first time, really, that Lulu wasn't on, she wasn't like super bitchy and angry and stuff like that. She was just laughing and just smiling. And it was kind of a nice scene. Even though Dante felt kind of guilty for laughing and stuff, but it was a nice scene. Just because it was like it wasn't her on her usual BS. And of course, Emma came in with um came in with Geo and was complimenting Geo's eyes and everything, and just being somewhat awkward. But I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Now I feel like that's pretty much about it. Of course, it's like 20 something minutes. Anyway, if I miss anything, write in the comment section below. Let me know star or come to the live. Well, do both. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'll be sitting there talking about all the shows: General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born and Beautiful, and Young and Restless. With that being said, I'm gonna go. I'll see you in the next video.